You want to take off your hat or you like it on? Well, you probably, your hair looks crazy without it.
Well, we can make my hair.
Your hair's crazy without it, probably. You've had it on the whole time.
We were hiking.
Okay.
How's this?
It's great.
You need to look.
Oh, God.
So I do. I was like, she's like, oh, it's great. I'm like,
Whatever. Alright. It's funny because the Poetry Foundation, I used to be like subscribed for a daily poem emailed to me every day for a while. How do you raise the brightness on this? Oh, you have it on night mode. Thank you. I can never see on your phone. It's just always so dark.
yeah, I like it that way.
Okay, maybe like right
That's
halfway.
That's,
Okay,
you can see.
it's too bright now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's way too
Do it a little
fucking bright.
do it halfway.
It's not even halfway.
Like
a
that.
quarter of the way.
Yeah, yeah. That's perfect.
It's halfway. It was like, it was half.
Half of that. Alright, so we're gonna read So we're gonna read The Raven by Edgar Allen Poe. This is our homework. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
Ah, distinctly I remember, in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow, for my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore.
And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors. I was gonna say tremors. But I feel like I'm trembling a lot. Okay. Never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, 'tis some visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is and nothing more.
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. Sir, said I, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more.
Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming, dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, Lenore. Merely this and nothing more.
Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more.
Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mane of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more.
Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, though, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore, tell me what thy lordly name is on thy night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy before. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name, nevermore.
But the raven sitting lonely on the placid bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore.
Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that, I say melancholy, burden bore of nevermore.
But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of the bird and bust on the door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking with this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking, nevermore.
This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight goaded over, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating over, she shall press, nevermore.
Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, that God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind of nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate, yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil. By thy heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell the soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels named Amor. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, up startling, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out of my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming. and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out his shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
Whoa, mind blown. This is crazy because it reminds me so much of this nap transcendence that I would experience. Like, he said that he was just taking a nap and he was hearing tapping and knocking at his door. And that just makes me think of people that have reached out to me and been like, hey, I hear this knocking or tapping at my door. What is it? And I was like, first you have to implore, which is ask, like, are you devil? Or are you false light? Or are you light? Are you my spirit guides? Who are you? Are you truth or are you love? Who are you? Right? And then he just kept saying, like, this raven only said nevermore, which gave him nothing, but did speak to him. And so with these people, I would tell them, like, hey, you need to ask them and see what they say. And if they say, they're, your spirit guides and love and light and whatever, then let them into your hearts. Let them into your body, because they're knocking from outside the door, right? They're not in the house, which my knocking and tapping would all be from inside the home already, because I knew that I had already allowed them into my hearts. So this nap transcendence that would happen to me is that I would be called to fall asleep. They would be like, you need to take a nap. And I'm like, okay. So then I would go to sleep and have like a transmission in itself where they would tell me what I need to read or what I need to do. But mostly I get into this really intense meditative state. And everything that he was talking about really reminded me of like the underworld. So sometimes I would be taken to the underworld during these naps. And as I was reading this, like, I was understanding, like, the startledness he felt and like how scared he was, like, what is happening? And I would see like darkness and cloudiness, and I would have to go into battle, and I would have to figure out what is false light and what is light. And experiencing, like, as I was reading that, like, the way it feels inside of you by going in there and conversing, communing, because I'm talking to the beings there too. It really does feel like the embodiment of the raven. And I would see ravens when I was in the underworld too. I would see desolate darkness, as he was saying in the poem. And I'd walk through and have to figure this out. And it's just really crazy to me, because I felt so much while reading that. I was like, oh my God, like, that's what his nap was. That's what was happening. And then I would wake up and then, would come back, but never really. I would be shooken from the whole experience. And shooketh from the experience. Yeah. And also to even talk to birds too, like having telepathy and being able to communicate with all of their beings and everything, and for it just to say that one word, it really is nothing and everything. So that was an experience just reading through it. What did you get from it?
So I got something totally different.
Oh, okay.
So, poem about a lost love, right? And how this, like, knocking at the door is like him, this longing for it to be her. Shows up, right? Like, he hears the knocking and he hopes it's the Lord, but he's like, no, like, it's nothing more than that. Like, it's just the wind, it's just like some like random person, could be her. Then it shows up as a raven, right? But symbolism of raven, they're messenger birds.
Right.
But they also can talk. People don't know this about ravens, but they also can they can use words and stuff, right? So he says all this stuff that's like going on inside of him.
Like loneliness.
Like the loneliness,
longing.
like the this, like, are you bird, like, are you devil, like all this stuff's like coming out of him about like how he's feeling. He doesn't even realize it, right? It's just like
processing all the emotions of like his relationship.
And then the bird is just like,
I'm just here.
No, not even that. It's like, how many like wizards and all these different like deities and stuff are associated with ravens? A lot, right?
Right.
All this bird does is say nevermore.
Right.
What if that's like some genie type shit?
Oh yeah.
Right? Of just like, I just gave you all this stuff that I'm feeling, and then this bird's just like nevermore.
Ah.
Like, cause he's kind of going through like what feels like a dark night of the soul.
It does seem like that,
right? Like,
which is what I did in my dark night of the soul, was went to the underworld.
Exactly. but the bird's a representation of like the power of what you speak, right? Like this bird just says nevermore, and he's given it all this like stuff. Like,
he has all this upheaval of everything that he's experiencing and
exactly.
feeling, and the
bird's just like nevermore.
It keeps saying it every time.
And at the end of the poem, he's like, "This bird didn't uplift my spirits anymore, because like it got rid of like for me just like that conversation back and forth. The bird just replying with like nevermore."
Cleansed him,
exactly.
Released him of his loneliness, because he said in the poem like, "Are you here to break my loneliness? I don't want you to break my loneliness," because he was stuck in his own emotions and in his own being.
But then the bird's like nevermore,
like you're cleared.
It got rid of it, right?
Yeah.
And like if you really like, when I look at it that way, I'm like, oh shoot, like all you literally have to say is like, you can like
all you have
go
to
on
do,
like a tirade about how you're feeling, and then just be like nevermore at the end of it.
That's it.
No, that's it.
And that's what you can like do with writing. You can like write about how you feel, and like that's why people talk about like, oh, writing in a journal and then throwing it away and tossing it up, or like just talking to someone, or talking just to yourself, like working it out. Like I know you gain a lot of like wisdom and knowledge like as you're speaking, and so with me it's like I'm talking, you give a question, I have an answer, I like talk through it until I get to the actual meat of it. Like it just comes through.
But I think part of the point of it is like the simplicity of it, right? It's like if you just speak like how you feel out loud, even if it's by yourself, and then the like simple finishing off of it of like, and I will never feel this way ever again, nevermore.
That's it.
Seals the deal. Like, but you just have to be like honest, because he was honest with the bird
of what he was feeling,
of how he felt, and like what was going on inside of him emotionally.
But continue.
No, I was gonna say that when he did that, the bird's like nevermore, and then it was like on to the next thing.
But also I want to point out it was the back and forth of him being like, no, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's nothing at the door.
But when he was interacting with the bird,
I think
it was never not a nothing thing. It was always
so
like...
I thought he was like interacting with his logical ego self of him being like, no, it's just nothing.
Oh, for
like
sure.
it's just nothing. But then he like allowed himself to get deeper into the root of the problem.
And then the bird showed up. And the bird came to the door. It was like, nevermore.
And then he was free and clear of his heartbrokenness, and he was healed.
At the end of it, yeah.
Yeah, at the end of it.
He says the bird never uplifted my spirits.
Yeah.
Nevermore.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it all, the whole interaction, like,
yeah,
healed that wound.
And I also like how he brought up like divine too. He's just like, oh, like this bird has come to save my soul in a way, like intervention. And also, I don't know, I really think this guy is way deeper than we thought. He has so much spiritual power.
Oh, well, I mean, again, symbolism, right? This is something I like to talk about. It's like once you see certain symbols and like you see them a lot, you're like, oh, ravens, the messenger birds, right? Like there was no accident that, you know, you read that and we got two different messages from it. But that's like the whole point of art, is like when you see it, when you read it, when you feel it, like everybody, it elicits something different in everyone.
Yeah, because it took me to my experience with the Dark Night of the Soul, and it took you to in a more literal way, but also a personal way, where it was like talking about his past relationship, Lenore, which was literally what he said, but I totally skipped over that.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like, you know, Lenore is like, I don't know. I don't really know.
But it never said like that Lenore was a woman.
Yeah.
Like I'm just assuming that this was a man talking about a woman just based on how it made me feel.
Right.
Like just from what I picked up from it.
Right.
But, you know, if you look up Lenore, like it's a name, but it could have been a pet. It could have been so many different things, right? Like what if he had a pet raven that was named Lenore that died, and he was like, are you a bird or you a devil? Like, are you Lenore? Like, is he asking the bird?
Yeah.
If that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he was.
So there's like so many different avenues that it could mean for so many different.
And then he was also saying like how rare it is for a bird to land in someone's chamber too, like
It
be
is,
at
like-
the window. He's like, hey, you know, I just woke up from my nap, like, you know, I didn't know that this was going to happen to me, but this happened to me, and I know this doesn't happen to people. So also like showing the sacred communion in it too, of like, wow, this experience is so rare to feel that I know no one else has been granted this access of this bird coming to visit.
And then the incessant curiosity of trying to figure out like what it all means.
Yeah, like what are you here for? What is your, you know, premise? I don't know. It just, and he was asking the same thing over and over, and all he heard was the same thing being repeated over and over again. But he came to different conclusions along the way, like the whole entire journey of it. He went further and deeper into the root of his problem, right? So I feel like people always think that, I've heard that people think the raven is dark, but this is like the most light, uplifting thing. Like, you need to descend to ascend. You know, you need to go dark down into the core of yourself in order to be lighter. This was like basically, to me, it just felt like a poem of how to do spiritual alchemy, how to transmute negativity to positivity, how to transmute like pain into positivity. I'm like, oh, wow. And I was thinking about, you know, him going back to like the true core of himself too, like battling ego at the same time.
Yeah. One, I just thought about this, like the little birdie on my shoulder told me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that kind of thing. Just the bird on my shoulder just kept telling me nevermore. Like, I didn't get it at first. I was like, what are you saying? Like, that's all you say. But then the more and more he like talked out loud, and the bird just kept playing with like nevermore. Like more and more he figured out what that actually meant.
Right.
Until it hit a point where it's just like, oh.
And that's it. Truth is truth. It's absolute.
I'll feel these things.
Yeah.
Nevermore.
Yeah.
And the bird uplifted me.
Yeah.
Nevermore. Because, in a sense, he'd gone his own wings.
Yeah, he did, and he was able to figure it out and do it for himself for the rest of his life. That was like the lesson that he needed to experience.
And people always view ravens as like a dark bird.
I love seeing ravens.
I love ravens.
And cats, you know, they're the spiritual realm.
Yeah, but I mean, like, people have a misconception of ravens, right? Like,
Well, it's like the shadow self.
Yeah.
Right? It's like how people have just like it's just dark. Like how people think of dark deities and stuff like that, you know. It's just the other aspect of all that is. There is light and dark. It is all one. It is all one thing. You know, that's how the universe works. Is it generates, it organizes, it destroys. Like that's the life cycle. Is like things need to decompose. Like things need to die. You know? Like just as there's life, there's death. Like that's the whole life cycle. Like that's what we go through. That's what everything in this whole and anything that is alive goes through. Right? So that's just part of the experience.
It's a trippy experience. It's fucking weird, bro. It's weird.
And it's so beautiful.
And weird. It's weird. It's really weird. Anyway, that was fun.
That was so fun. I think we got it.